Coming up on Cache Rendezvous.
A Logan man spends thousands of dollars on Halloween decorations. We'll tell you why.
Zombies are attacking people like Mike Singletary, but it's a good thing.
We'll tell you about a radio story that caused panic 75 years ago today.
You can't land a sleigh on those things, but I'll tell you how the weather's going to be for trick-or-treating coming up on Cache Rendezvous Weather.
Ye wenches be outscoring the scurvy knaves. Ye sports be rated R.
So how much of that's coming up on Cache Rendezvous?
All of it. Welcome to this spooky edition of Cache Rendezvous. I'm Eric Jungblood.
And I'm Lee Kubik. Let's send it over to Brianna Bodley, who is live in the Agricultural Science Building for the dedication of the atrium. Brianna?
I'm standing in the newly christened George B. Kane Atrium. George B., I was just talking to a couple of his friends. He has passed away, but they were telling me that he was quite an influence on the College of Agriculture, especially in the dairy sciences, that he actually invented a couple of new things, and he was quite an influence, and now he has an honor in the Agricultural Sciences Building today. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Brianna. It's almost Halloween, and you can probably see decorations everywhere, including our studio today. Look at how spooky it is. But one house's spookiness outscares the rest. Spiders, headstones, and scary faces are only part of what you see. The owner has spent thousands of dollars for all the decorations that make his house amazing. Brady Hull builds some of it in the beginning of October, and some he's still working on. But all of it helps to make his house fun for people to come and look at.
It's been interesting. I mean, there's quite a flow of people that come through and take a look, and crazy with the trick-or-treaters on Halloween, so.
This is the best yard.
Movement, lots of props, and even water add to the view every Halloween. Hull says he hopes to keep doing it for years to come.
If a zombie outbreak occurred, would you be ready? While no actual zombies were seen, there were plenty of people dressed as zombies during Utah State's annual Zombie Chase for Charity 5K event. Our Bradley Wells shows us what happened during the apocalypse.
There's candy you can buy and get wrapped.
For the second year, Utah State put on the Zombie Chase to raise money for local charities. Shara Lee from the Cache Valley Volunteer Center worked with the organizers.
She's going to find people this year that need help with their Thanksgiving dinner, and that money's going to help get them Thanksgiving dinner.
For some people, being a charity event added to the experience.
If it's something that there's a good cause for, I'll definitely jump in on that.
During the race, people with flags such as this were recognized as humans. After a 60-second delay, zombies were let loose to try to take a flag from the humans.
Get set, go!
Humans and zombies took to the court. While there were no restrictions on how fast you could run, there were rules that were in place.
The zombies can only pull one flag. This is just for fun. It's not real. Relax. You're not really getting attacked by a zombie. So if somebody comes, pulls your flag, it's no big deal.
Some humans were fast, while others were not so fast and lost their flags. One zombie caught a human just before the finish line.
She slipped and fell, and I was like right on top of her, and she kind of, I think she really like accepted it. She's like, I just got eaten, you know, like I slipped and fell right before the finish line.
I think it was really good. I think we had more than last year, so that was obviously the goal.
From a zombie-plagued wasteland, Bradley Wells, Cache Rendezvous.
The event also had a dog walk costume contest, and proceeds went to the 4 Paws Rescue for Charity. Organizers hope to add more exciting features for next year's event.
So what do you do with scrap wood? Burn it? Throw it away? Well, Jenna Lynn is here with us live in the studio to tell us what one local man does with people's old wood. What do you have there, Jenna?
Thanks, Eric. Well, this is actually one of Reggie Jennings' pieces of work. It's a cutting board made made of multiple types of wood. Now, he usually goes out and buys the wood for his cutting boards because people don't normally throw away scraps that are big enough for them. But he did show me plenty of other things he makes that are entirely made of scraps.
What people call me is the wood guy. I collect wood. People give me wood all the time, like their wood scraps and stuff, and I've always had a hobby of finding wood people are throwing away and turning it into something.
And it may surprise you to know just where he'll go to find this wood.
The stuff for like my bowls, I can usually find the wood at the dump. These two are a perfect matching set. A lot of people know that I do this. They'll have like a tree they want to have taken down, so I'll go take the tree down for them for free basically, and then I get to keep the wood, so.
With this wood, he'll make lots of different things, like cutting boards, salt and pepper shakers, rolling pins, coasters, and jewelry.
Another example is these segmented bases here I make. This will be for a antique style pepper grinder with a mechanism on top. So it's just comprised of little tiny pieces of different woods that I glue together in a very sequential series of steps.
There are so many steps that go into making something like this. Every piece has to be perfectly smooth, so it can be glued together without having any gaps, so it can create a finished product that looks like this. And that final glassy look you see isn't made by paints or stains.
It's all the natural wood. I actually don't even own stain.
It's just a lot of sanding and some mineral oil and beeswax. And all that intricate work isn't lost on customers.
The quality of the craftsmanship are just exquisite. I'm buying them as gifts, one for myself and one for a friend.
Jennings says it all comes from his love of wood.
This stuff is just beautiful. I mean, I don't know how you can throw it away or, even burn it. It's just terrible. I think it needs to be turned into something.
Yeah, so, I don't know. What do you guys think of this? What do you think of his work?
Yeah, it's a cute looking plate.
Plate, Ditka?
Yeah, to me that's a plate.
This is a cutting board. You can, cut things on it for your plate if you'd like.
I'm sure I could make a mean sandwich on that.
Yeah, so it was just a lot of fun. It was really cool to see how he made the different woods and how, he had to get the different scraps and stuff for the different types of things he did, and just the different creations he was able to come up with it.
Pretty cool. All right, thanks, Jenna.
Thanks.
After the break.
A little bit of thread and a lot of fabric has kept a family stitched together through generations.
NFC, AFC, offensive linemen, defensive tackles, quarterbacks, and cornerbacks are all living united to ensure the academic success of millions of kids in our communities all the way to graduation day. But that won't happen without you. So take the pledge at unitedway.org. Make a difference in the life of a child. Suit up like your favorite NFL players and become a volunteer reader, tutor, or mentor with United Way.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
NFC.
So how long has your family celebrated Halloween, Ditka?
Since January 26, 1986, the day the Bears won the Super Bowl.
Well, like Halloween, some things last in families for generations. Our Brianna Bodley is outside to tell us about a family whose tradition has been passed down for over 100 years.
Stories, but I talked to a family who preserves their traditions by literally handing things down to the next generation.
It's an artistic outlet. It's a way of expressing my love for those I give them to. It shows the love of the person that made it for you, And every time you make one for someone else, it shows the love you have for them. I started out sleeping under them. As a young child, my grandmother made me a quilt. It was a 9-patch pattern with scrappy fabrics. She made me a little doll blanket that goes with it. And I loved looking at the scraps and trying to figure out why she put them where she did. Though it's probably scrappy, so there's no real reason. I don't remember sleeping under a store-bought quilt. When I was little, I'd play with the toys under the quilt while the ladies visited. I kept wondering, when am I going to be old enough to be able to quilt? I've had quilting on both sides of my family. One of my quilts that I made for my bed, my grandmother quilted on before she passed away. So I've got some of her last quilting stitches. But there aren't as many people that hand quilt anymore. And that's kind of a dying art. I have one that it took me 5 years to quilt. I'd quilt in the evenings or when I had a little bit of time here and there. And then after kids came, then I'd make baby quilts for them, and it just kind of went from there. So I have my triple great-grandmother's quilt tops. I have 2 of those. It brought tears to my eyes to get something my great-grandmother had, or great-great-great.
Gosh, it sure is quilt weather out here. And I'm glad that I have this one. My grandma actually made this for me, and if I'm lucky, I would love to hand it down to my grandchildren someday. Back to you.
Thanks, Brianna. I got to admit, I kind of think quilts are for sissies.
I like quilts.
Well, then that makes you either a sissy or a Packers fan. Hopefully the former. What if you couldn't dress the way you wanted to for a party? Well, Caesar Abbott shows you the struggle the Howl has experienced over the years.
Considered to be Utah's largest Halloween-themed party, the Howl is a popular event that takes place at Utah State University every year. Despite the large number of attendance and activities that makes this party an enjoyable Halloween experience, during past years, the Howl has been criticized over the issue of objectifying women. That means by not letting women inside if they are showing too much skin. After seeing that it was starting to become an extensive issue affecting a lot of people attending the Howl, during recent years, Howl organizers decided to make a small change to its dress code. Since 2 years ago, the dress code has been that whatever you can wear to the beach, you can wear to the Howl.
We're not really someone's mom to say what they can or cannot wear. I mean, for us the rule is just for like other people, because obviously we don't want some girl coming in completely butt naked. But really it's just mostly, you know, if you can wear it to the beach, you can wear it to the Howl, because I think everyone's been to a beach, so I think that's pretty acceptable. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much the rule, and we've stuck with that for the last couple of years.
Howl organizers say they haven't had any problems since the new dress code was implemented, and they plan to follow this code during years to follow. Caesar Abbott, Cache Rendezvous.
I don't know about you, but I like dressing up. It gives me a warm, fuzzy feeling to be somebody else and bring them to life. I see you do too.
This ain't a costume, buddy. It's a way of life.
After the break, Jason Borba will bring you your Cache Valley weather report.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Oh, you should pick that up. Oh, you're such a dork. Loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look. Your crush is looking at you. Poor you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach
likes
your
you.
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
Looking for these? You drive buzzed. It could be one very expensive ride.
First, you gotta make bail. Then pay me to get your car back.
Your insurance premiums will go through the roof.
And my legal fees just keep adding up. All told, it could end up costing you $10,000.
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Look at me. Hey.
Raymond, look at mommy.
Maybe the light hurts his eyes.
Maybe she's just not hungry. Maybe he can't hear us. Maybe we're not stimulating him enough. Maybe it's a phase.
Avoiding eye contact is one early sign of autism. Learn the others today. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better.
Ho, 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 ho! Have you two been good little boys?
Well, I like to think so.
Oh, I know you have. You're on my good list. But you, Ditka, you've been a very, very naughty boy. Yes, nothing to say. That's all right. Let's take a look outside and see how our weather is. As you can see, it's a little cloudy out there. It doesn't look very nice. That guy or girl is wearing a jacket. That means it's cold. So let's take a look at our national radar. As you can see right here, there are some storms in the Midwest. You know, that means rain. We're getting into November, which means the rain is coming. So that means for December, the snow is coming. And I love the snow. My reindeer love the snow. I can give gifts to everybody when it's snowing. If we take a look here over in the East Coast, Florida, looks like over there's some rain. So just some very light showers over there. And then we take a look over here in the West Coast, California. They've got some showers up here in the west. In Idaho, right there, they have some showers. And let's take a good look here at Utah, because that's where we like to be. As you can see, Salt Lake City has got some showers coming in, and they look like they're moving out away from us, so we probably won't be getting too many showers. Too bad it's not raining in Provo, because those boys and girls, they definitely deserve it, because they're very, very naughty. All right, let's take a look at our 7-day forecast. And I'm starting to sound Irish again. So on Wednesday, today it's 49. And tomorrow it's going to warm up to 52 degrees. On Friday, it's going to be cloudy, but 56. And then Saturday for the football game, it is going to be a great 62 degrees. And then the weekend is going to start to get a little worse. The temperatures are definitely going to drop. Now I'm going to send it back to my friends at the desk.
Thanks, Jason. I hope we get to cover some Quidditch and chess and sports today.
Quidditch and chess? Nah. How are the Bears going to do this weekend?
They're going to win. But let's talk about Aggie sports. Coming up in sports, I'll show you how soccer's busy weekend went and if volleyball was able to keep their winning streak alive.
Here's your check.
Oh, you got it. You know, since I got rid of my car, I really enjoy walking.
Okay. God, no.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates.
Oh, you're home early.
You live with your mom?
That'll set your game back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome to ATV Sports on Cache Rendezvous. I'm Marie Tietze, and this is a special No Boys Allowed ATV Sports edition. So let's get started. USU Women's Soccer finished their busiest week of the season after playing Air Force Tuesday. They finished their weekend against the top 2 teams in the conference. They started on Friday, taking on second place New Mexico. USU started early with Mari Miyashiro just missing this header on a pass from Jen Flynn. Amber McCallson dribbles past the Lobo defenders and misses her shot wide left. New Mexico didn't have any better luck as the game finished tied 0-0.
We looked to progress, and I think we showed that today. Like, we didn't settle, and you know, it's all about peaking at the right time. So I thought we had a pretty good performance today.
In the second half of their busy weekend, the team prepared to take on the first place Aztecs. San Diego State defender Haley Palmer wiggles her way through Aggie defenders before she scores from 22 yards out. The Aggies try to respond with this pass from Jessica Brooksby, just skips over Miyashiro's leg. San Diego State pours it on with another goal from Palmer on this free kick. The Aztecs win 2-0. The Aggies close their season on Friday when they host Boise State with their conference tournament seedings on the line. Going into the weekend, the Utah State's women's volleyball team had won 3 in a row. They look to continue that success Thursday night against the Aztecs. We pick up the action in the first set. Reagan Shelton goes for the spike when Rachel Orr goes up and blocks for an Aggie point. Later, Michelle Weber gets the pass and blasts it out of the back of the court. Paige Neves serves it over the net, right here. Never comes back, tallying another point for the Aggies, leading to the sweep of the Aztecs. Fans gathered again on Saturday, this time against UNLV. The Aggies continued their strong play with this spike from Rachel Orr. And later on, Neves sets up Ellie Brainerd to slam it home. To finish off the Rebels, Rachel Orr strikes again with another spike. The Aggies win by taking 3 of 4 sets.
I think us being so well and like coming back and playing as hard as we did really kind of kept them on their heels, and I think that's what contributed that too.
The volleyball team remains at home for their next 2 games against Wyoming, Colorado State. Now I know I said no boys allowed, but I'll make an exception for hockey. Utah State Club's hockey team dismantles its opponents during the BYU Showcase a couple weeks back, but faced a tough challenge at home last Friday against Arizona State. ATV Sports' Eric Jungblatt shows you how the Aggies just couldn't get it done against the Sun Devils.
It's been 1 year since the ASU Sun Devils took the ice at the Eccles Arena. Last time they were here, this happened. Bad blood exists between the Aggies and the Sun Devils, and this time around in Logan, it was no different. The game got chippy quickly. USU's JoJo Chase and ASU's Mitch Lyons get into a wrestling match here in the first quarter, and both were removed from the game. Seconds later, the Devils make the Aggies pay. Sean Gibbons responded for the Aggies with this slap shot goal, but ASU put up 2 more goals to end the period with a 3-1 lead. Aggie forward Stu Hepburn started the scoring in the second period, sliding this one past the Devils goalie to make it 3-2. But ASU didn't let up, padding their lead with this goal and this one to make it 5-2. We go into the third period now with the Aggies still trailing. Hepburn pokes this one in to make it 5-3, and then Aaron Ward rockets one right into the back of the net, and suddenly the Aggies are only down a goal. With less than a minute left in the game, the Aggies pull goalie Bryce Scherschel to gain a man advantage, but ASU gets the puck back and sink the empty netter. They will win this one 6-4, and despite the tough loss, head coach John Eccles was proud of his team.
I was really proud how we kept coming at them that third period. Second period was tough.
Eric Jungblatt, Cache Sports.
The Aggies rebounded after their loss to the Sun Devils with an 8-2 win over BYU last Saturday in Provo. The team takes home ice at 7 p.m. Friday against the University of Utah at the Eccles Ice Center in North Logan. USU basketball is back. They opened their season at home with an exhibition game against Central Methodist. Senior guard Preston Medlin led the team with 22 points. Freshman Jalen Moore made his own highlight reel with 2 dunks that brought the crowd to their feet. The Aggies won 108-88. You are all caught up on ATV Sports. More volleyball, football, and soccer coming up for you next week. Back to you, Lee and Eric.
Hey, thanks, Marie. Coming up, 75 years ago today, the country was in a panic, and it was all because of a radio broadcast.
And we'll tell you.
Don't look at me. Your hair's a bit frizzy today. Aww. You should pick that up.
Oh, you're such a dork, loser. Here, let me help you with that. Oops.
Every day, kids witness bullying.
Oh, look, your crush is looking at you. Or you.
They want to help, but don't know how.
See, no one here's gonna help you, because no one
Teach your
likes
kids how to be more than a bystander. Visit stopbullying.gov.
You wouldn't let money just blow out of your house. So when your AC or heater is on, make sure the doors, windows, and fireplace flue are shut tight. If you're headed out, turn down the AC or lower the heat by 10 degrees. And always keep your water heater set at 120. A little bit of common sense goes a long way. Get more great tips at energysaver.gov.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
The 75th anniversary of the War of the Worlds radio broadcast that sent the country into a frenzy. Our Jason Borba shows us how the aliens invaded.
It is reported that at 8:50 p.m. a huge flaming object, believed to be a meteorite, fell on a farm in the neighborhood of Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
On Halloween Eve 1938, aliens invaded the world. Or so people thought. A radio adaptation of H.G. Wells' book War of the Worlds was played over the airwaves by CBS in conjunction with the Mercury Theater. People turned to radio for their news, and the play was so well done that listeners truly believed Martians had landed.
People panicked, ran out of their houses with wet handkerchiefs against their noses and mouths, trying to protect themselves from the Martians' poisonous gas.
Do you hear it? It's a curious humming sound that seems to come from inside the object.
Orson Welles was the star of the show, giving up-to-date bulletins on the attack happening in Grover's Mill, New Jersey.
Another one and another one. They look like tentacles to me. Oh yeah, I can see the thing's body now. It's large, and as large as a bear. It glistens like wet leather, but that face, ladies and gentlemen, it's indescribable. I can hardly force myself to keep looking at it.
Those lines were recorded in a booth much like this one and sent people into a panic.
It fooled people so much so that they panicked. Rather than saying that was a nice story, they literally let their imaginations run away with them.
The Martian only has to go a few miles to get a crowd on the run.
The next morning, the fake attack graced the front pages of newspapers across the country, and it even served as a wake-up call.
It shows us, just how a whole people can be panicked by something, can get sucked into something. Maybe it shows us, that we're not well prepared for an attack. So they started, in some cases, people were upset about it, and then they started to say, hey, it's teaching us something.
Bells you hear are ringing to warn the people to evacuate the city as Martians approach.
Jason Borba, Cache Rendezvous.
Since its broadcast in 1938, The War of the Worlds has been made into 2 feature films, dramatizations have been made, and has inspired similar radio dramas in Peru and Chile.
Dreams don't grow on trees, but they can be tied to them. Students have written their dreams on ribbons to create a dream tree near the TSC. The rain got them wet and 2 of them have fallen down, but the rest are still hanging in the trees for people walking by to see. The 3 dream trees have lots of ribbons in them, but some people aren't sure what it is about.
Well, I didn't know about the dream tree until just barely, but I think it's a pretty cool idea.
The ribbons will remain in the trees the next few days for students to look at. It's by the parking terrace and the TSC, and it's not too late for you to write down your own dream. All right, guys, so tomorrow's Halloween. What you doing?
Calculus homework.
Heading back to the North Pole.
I don't like that. That's too close to Green Bay.
Oh, Ditka.
Well, thank you for joining us on this Halloween edition of Cache Rendezvous.
Be sure to tune in next week for ATV News. Have a happy Halloween.